Despite being the most powerful portable system on the market when it was released, the PSP was never really host to that many truly portable games. So much of the catalog was occupied by half-assed console ports that didn't really feel at home on the system, that the few games that did feel like they belonged often got shoved into the corner, never to be heard of again, with the rare exception of a Patapon or Loco Roco. Work Time Fun, or WTF, is one of the games I feel like never had a chance. At its core, WTF is basically a Warioware ripoff, and I feel like that's all a lot of people ever heard about it. I know I dismissed it out of hand at that point. I had no real interest in playing some shitty version of Warioware, not when I could just play the real thing. But WTF is completely different in a lot of ways. Sure, the minigames here are the same sort of repetitive base-level tasks that you would do in a Warioware, but they take a different approach to the presentation. Instead of having you do the mundane thing once, then quickly move on to the next minigame, WTF has you do it over and over and over again. Plus, because they weren't being held up to Nintendo's family-friendly standards, the minigames can go places that WarioWare games never did, that they never could. Some of them are extremely repetitive parodies, but others are actually legitimately fun. But even when I wasn't really having what most people would call fun, I was still enjoying myself. The first appeal this game has is in its dark humor aesthetic. The conceit here is that you are trapped in hell, where you have to perform these mundane tasks for the rest of eternity. But that wears thin pretty fast, and what really kept me engaged was how the game has you unlock new minigames. Somewhat amusingly, it's really reminiscent of the carrot and stick routine that so many mobile games adhere to these days. By trudging through the minigames, you make tiny amounts of money, which you can then spend on gachapon machines that will spit out balls with new minigames in them, as well as a wide assortment of useless trinkets. This adds a collection aspect that I feel is really key to making the game's loop work. Without it, chances are I would have stopped putting caps on pens almost immediately. But the idea that I could get more dumb minigames with my earnings kept me trucking along. That said, the game definitely has a finite amount that it can offer. A game like WarioWare is definitely more replayable. Its minigames are something closer to the traditional concept of fun. And since the real fun in WTF is unlocking the minigames, once you've unlocked them all, you're just kinda done. But that'll probably take you a while. WTF is only fun in small bursts, a great game to pull out when you're bored. It makes a fantastic mobile game. Hell, I could imagine something like it being extremely popular in the current market for phone games. And it's kinda hard to recommend that people carry around a PSP so they can really experience the true nature of WTF's portability. And so that makes it kind of a relic in its own right. But I do think it's a game that everyone should at least check out. It's a fascinating concept based around a simple premise that was weirdly way ahead of its time. Every Monday, I look at a game that's at least 10 years old, what I would consider to be retro, and I see if it's held up today, if it's still worth playing now. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this video in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.